Hello and welcome viewers, you're watching NewsX and I'm Vaishali Kohli. And of course viewers, now the latest development that we're talking about is that the public rift between Donald Trump and Netanyahu has grown significantly. And let me just explain to you today why that's happening. Now, US President Donald Trump, the latest information that we're getting for you is that he's not happy with his ally, Israeli PM Benjamin Netanyahu. And he made that very clear once again during the G7 summit. We all know that Donald Trump it rarely happens that he minces words. He says exactly what he feels. And now he's used the G7 summit, as a platform to, project and to display his unhappiness with Netanyahu. Now let's dig deep. Donald Trump has claimed that without him, there would be no Israel because no American president in the past was willing to do what he did. So, of course, Donald Trump is also taking credit for the fact, and he's clearly mentioned that, without him, there would be no Israel. Now, sitting alongside Qatar's Emir Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani at the G7 summit in France, Trump referred to the recent Israeli strikes on residential buildings in Beirut hours before the peace deal with Iran was announced. Now, let me tell you, viewers, what he said, and I quote, Donald Trump has said that I saw that attack. I saw where that bomb went. That was a vicious attack. That was too much. You can do too much also, is what he said. He also reiterated that he has a great relationship with Netanyahu. Trump alleged in the same breath that without America, there would be no Israel. And let me just quote again what he said. Donald Trump said that without me, there would be no Israel because no other president was willing to do what I did. Israel would have been blown up a long time ago had I not gotten involved. Now let's just move further. Now, Trump has been very vocal, viewers, about his disagreements with Netanyahu over the past few weeks, and especially with Israel's handling of Lebanon before and after the US struck a peace deal with Iran. Now, speaking about the Beirut strikes, the US president termed it, and I'd like to quote him again, he used the words vicious and he said too much. So that's something he said. And now Israel claimed, on the other hand, that the strikes were targeted at Hezbollah. But Trump said that the fight simply goes on forever. And when that happens, it throws a negative light on the big deal. And that's the deal with Iran. Now let's move forward, viewers. Now, Axios is an agency that has reported that Netanyahu was kept in the dark about the US's peace deal announcement with Iran, and the Israelis were caught off guard. So this is really interesting piece of information, viewers, that Israel was not even informed of this peace deal that Trump was, making with Iran. Now, earlier this month, Trump blasted Netanyahu over the phone regarding the Lebanon strikes. And I cannot use that word because that's unparliamentary language, but we all know how Donald Trump talks. And I'll just simplify that for you for a more parliamentary purpose. He just said that he's crazy. Donald Trump called Netanyahu completely crazy and said that he would be in prison. Donald Trump tells Netanyahu, and now, of course, I'll quote him because the language has become a little better. He said he would be in prison if it weren't for me. I'm saving you. Everybody hates you now. Everybody hates Israel because of this, is what Trump said. And of course, there was a lot of unparliamentary language used, which I cannot use here clearly. But the US president reportedly shouted at Netanyahu at one point during the call. And he said, "What are you doing?" Now, Trump has admitted to using very strong language later in a podcast, saying that he was perturbed about Israel's constant fight with Lebanon. Netanyahu, meanwhile, let's get his angle now. Netanyahu claimed on June 15 that the war against Iran with the US saved Israel from nuclear annihilation, warning that the Jewish nation's fight against Iran and its regional allies is not over. So, of course, viewers, when it comes to the situation between Donald Trump and Netanyahu, it sure seems to be quite stressed out, quite tense. But we will be sharing more updates with you as the situation unfolds. Thank you in the meantime for watching and stay tuned to NewsX.